My friends, we have been lied to our entire lives, and this graph is a representation of that lie. The reason why this is a lie is because it implies that as time goes on, healing endlessly goes on. I'm sure you're like me and you have heard a million times when you are in pain, going through it, that time heals all wounds. However, this is a salad. A salad that has been used to placate us and make us feel better in times of need, which is okay. I understand, like, when we want to make people feel better, we will say whatever we need to say, sometimes without getting too involved. But time heals all wounds implies that as time goes on, we will, at the end of it all, be better. So when we are near our death, we should be the happiest, healthiest, most well integrated people ever. However, we all know that that's not the case. And a lot of the times, going by this adage leaves us with a lot of insidious habits, limiting beliefs, and defense mechanisms that hold us back and stop us from living a life that's actually authentic to us and makes us feel like our whole, full, actually healed self. So you might be asking yourself then, what does this graph look like? What does a graph of healing actually look like? And how do we stop ourselves from being someone that allows the pain and scars from our past to completely derail and dictate the future path of our life, right? So that's what we're going to get into in this video. We're going to talk about what this graph actually looks like, what this actually looks like and manifests as in our lives, and then what are indicators of actual healing so that we know that we're making progress, and healing boosters, healing power boosters on our actual graph that allows us to have a better grip on what healing feels like, what it looks like, and hopefully this can help you on your journey as you move forward through whatever it is that you're going through, because you deserve to live a life that feels authentic, that feels loved, that makes you feel seen. You are deserving and you are worthy. So my name is Ron Natalia, and without further ado, let's get into this one. So what this graph implies is that the more time passes, the more things are going to get better, the more you're going to be able to move on, and things are just going to be great if we just let time pass. Sometimes the way this can manifest itself in the way that we think, oh, it's working, is that simply as time goes on, we just feel less pain. And sometimes we can equate feeling less pain to feeling healed. However, feeling less pain or having our thoughts shift, things that have traumatized us or made us like really not want to do whatever has wounded us ever again, can just be a defense mechanism from our body that is self-preservation. Your body wants you to live. So this manifests itself as less pain, right? The more time goes, the more we heal. And a lot of times people can say the less pain we feel, the more healed we are. However, that's entirely inaccurate, and this is completely wrong, because feeling less pain does not mean that we don't have new limiting beliefs, new habits, new defense mechanisms that are insidious and actually tearing us apart from the inside out. And I think the best example I'm going to use for this is going to be like in relationships, because I think a lot of the times we struggle with a lot of healing that is around the way people have treated us in the past, or the way that we just have had relationships, you know. This is wrong. So first question is, what does this graph actually look like, right? So if this is wrong, if this is total poo-poo, then what does healing actually look like? So I'm going to draw the new graph for you, and then I'm going to explain it to you, because we know over here in our little corner that right now we have insidious. Limiting beliefs, habits, and defense mechanisms. No. Left behind, right? And if we just allow time to pass and we don't bring any kind of awareness to these, they're not going to go away. So, for example, say you were in a relationship and you were cheated on, manipulated, and the way that showed up was with someone that was wearing a purple hat. They wore a purple hat all the time. So you're like, I'm never dating a person with a purple hat ever again, because everyone with a purple hat is going to lie to me and manipulate me and cheat on me, right? So that's a limiting belief. It's a crazy one, but it's a limiting belief, right? So going on with our purple hat example, the habits that we picked up with our purple hat was I always have to check their phone. I can't trust them. So I always have to know exactly what they're doing. I always have to have their location on. Their location has to be on, or else this relationship is not going to work. They always have to sleep on the left side of the bed. If they don't sleep on the left side of the bed, they want to sleep on the right side because it's closer to the door, and then they can walk out whenever they want to and go do whatever they're cheating. Right? So those habits. Then we have defense mechanisms. I never want to have a conversation or a situation where I'm in the same room as a purple hat, because I don't want to be in that situation again. I am going to avoid purple hats at all cost. I cannot be around purple hats. If I see a purple hat, I'm not showing up at the function. I'm leaving the building. I just cannot, right? That's our example. And as time goes on, if we're doing nothing about these, you're not actually healing, because these are all wounds. These are open wounds that are controlling or manifesting your life. These are actively taking place. So you cannot entirely call yourself healed if you have limiting beliefs, habits, and defense mechanisms telling you what you will and will not do in relation to a wounding experience. All right. So if time doesn't heal anything, what does this actually look like? A lot of people are going to be mad because it's not easy. The thing about time healing all wounds is that it's easy and we just have to sit there and do nothing and we'll feel better. Effort heals all wounds. We have to do something about it. Sitting around and being hungry and waiting for someone to come and feed you is going to leave you hungry. And I think that, honestly, I'm going to check my notes because I don't know if effort is on the x-axis. I'm going to double check. Yeah, that's what I expected. Okay, so I knew that. So actually, this is going to go this way. Because we're going to put effort on the Y. I was going to say the more effort we put in, the more healing we have. And sometimes the intensity of it can change, mind you. So I don't want you to take this as I have to go balls to the wall, gung-ho, into this. No, it's fine. But what ends up happening now is when we start to put in effort, the more we heal.
Hey guys, editing Rana here, and I just wanted to add to this with a bit of an analogy and a question for you guys. So, when you have a physical wound, which one takes less time to heal? A, the one you put effort into protecting and tending to, or B, the one you just leave exposed and hope for the best with? If you chose B, depending on the size of the wound, B will not work, but there's never really a wound that A wouldn't work for. Some of the wounds we're walking around with and giving B treatment to are equal to having been stabbed or amputated. We even say it ourselves. It's like, I feel like I've been stabbed in the heart, or a piece of me is missing. So just a little food for thought on actually putting effort into your healing.
So as long as we're putting in the effort can go up or down. It can be minimal effort, but you're still going to heal as if you were putting in no effort. No effort, no progress. But even if we put in the smallest amount of effort, we're going to be healing over time. It might take us longer. It might take us longer. But if we're putting in that effort, no matter if it's a lot of effort or a little effort, we're going to heal, right? And so you can put in a lot of effort, right? The effort can go up and the healing still happens. The effort can go down, but the healing still happens. So that's why healing is down here and the effort is there. I don't want you to think that it has to be gung-ho, balls to the wall in order for you to heal. Sometimes a part of your healing process is going to be a little low effort. It's going to be resting. It is going to be taking time for yourself to just let yourself be and exist and process the pain of these wounds. And processing, it takes a lot of effort just to exist in a processing state, or to even rest after coming out of a situation where you didn't feel safe is a part of healing, because you're allowing your body to regulate itself and regain energy and feel and embrace being safe. The end all be all of this is that we don't want to think healing is passive. Healing is not passive. It's not something that's just going to happen to you. Okay? So then we know that we have to put an effort in order to heal. A lot of people don't want to hear that because it's hard. You already went through something that was hard. Now you got to go through something that's even more hard, that has you reliving the hard thing so that you can feel better? Give us a... So now we know time does not heal all wounds. We understand that healing is not passive. We understand that wounds doesn't just look like pain. It can show up as limiting beliefs, habits, and defense mechanisms that start to rule our life and keep us from actually being fulfilled. And then we also understand that we can have moments of putting in a lot of effort or putting in minimal effort, but we're still going to be healing because we're still pouring into ourselves to make sure that we get there eventually. So then you might be like, okay, I know what not healing looks like. I know that healing is not passive. I know I have to put in the effort. But when I begin to put in the effort, be it a lot or a little, what does that look like? What does healing look like? What does healing feel like for me now? So we're going to erase this. All right, so now we're going to talk about what does healing look like? What are the indicators that you're actually healing? Aside from feeling less pain around the wound that you've had in the past, right? So we know that we can have scars, right? So our scars left over from our wound, even when we don't feel pain, can look like, again, limiting beliefs. Because who knows, the love of your life could be a purple hat. But now you don't even want to, never again? Habits and defense mechanisms. Right? So, indicators of healing can look like you're not projecting from your past. And what projecting means is that you're not taking your past experiences and what has happened to you and the things that you've internalized and putting them onto a current situation that you have not had the time to completely suss out, to completely take in, and to completely assess. You see one thing and you're like, I know what's happening. And a lot of the times that can be a projection, and that's coming from a wounded place. So we're not projecting. And we've integrated from this past experience, which means that not only can I have this experience again, but I can look back on that experience and I don't feel a strong emotion towards it. And that can be a lot of the times when people don't feel pain anymore, they can feel hate. They can want to have revenge. And I think like hate is energy. Wanting revenge is energy. When we fully integrate something, we feel neutral towards it. And if you're real good at integration, you can feel a little positive towards it, right? You're like, I actually wish them all the best and I hope they get the healing that they need, because for them to have done the things that they did to me, I imagine that that was coming from a wounded place and a place of like really misunderstanding how to treat people, right? So integration means that I'm neutral. I don't feel pain from this thing, but I also don't feel like if I see this person again, I want to ruin their life. A lot of the times, when people are in the process of healing, they can think revenge and being the bad guy and wanting to start to hate someone and send bad energy towards someone is being healed. And I see a lot of sound, like echo chambers, where that's the case. And I feel really bad because we actually want to get to a place where you will not disturb my energy regardless. You like I can look back on this experience and I feel neutral because I understand that it had nothing to do with me and who I am, and I'm not going to internalize it. It's not going to dictate what I think about myself or what I think about other people. It's not going to force me to move in a way that feels unaligned. It's not going to take me out of who I am and make me do things that I've never done before, because I understand where this is coming from. And it's not going to stop me from having experiences and being fully present with other things that have nothing to do with it, because I've integrated and I understand. I've done the work, right? So those are ways that healing can actually show up and what they actually look like. And it takes us away from these limiting beliefs, habits, and defense mechanisms that are not serving us. And then we have healing boosters, effort based healing power boosters. So, let's get this out. And so, what is an effort based healing power booster? These are things that are going to take effort, but they're going to enhance your healing experience in such a way that it's going to make integration so much easier. And the first one's going to be awareness. I am an awareness advocate through and through, because when we become aware of things, we can do something about it. How do we know there's a problem? Like, how do you do something about a problem if you don't know there's a problem, right? So awareness is where we start all the time, because if we are aware, we can heal. If I'm aware of my limiting beliefs, I can heal. If I'm aware of my new habits that I've internalized from this relationship, I can heal. If I am aware of my defense mechanisms, I can heal. Because this past experience, if I'm aware of how it's showing up in my present life and hindering me, I can do something about it. So awareness is always the place that we want to start from when it comes to effort-based healing. If you're not aware, but you're doing all of these things that are meant to heal you, you can be putting your effort into the wrong places. You understand? So be very intentional about your effort by knowing what you need to put effort into. Boom. The next one, grace. Boom, 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 boom. So grace. A lot of people will not give themselves grace. They'll be upset with themselves that they had the experience that they had. How could I be so stupid? How could I let this happen to me? I knew better. I should have known better. And that's not human. Like, we make mistakes. You have not been here before. You have not met everyone before. So a lot of the times we cannot foresee what fate has in store for us. And that's okay. Because as long as we give ourselves grace when it happens, after it's done, that's all we need. Another part of grace is to let it take as long as it needs to. A lot of people want to rush through healing. They want to get over it. They want to stop crying. They want to stop feeling hurt because it sucks. It sucks to be stuck in a place where you don't want to be, where you feel like you didn't put yourself, and it's hard. But let yourself take time. Don't rush it. Don't try to rush into something else to fix like what is happening in your healing. Let it take as long as it needs to. Give yourself space. And also another part of grace is let it look the way it needs to. A lot of the times people want healing to look a certain way, and it has to be pretty, and it has to be meditation and yoga and all these other things. For some people, healing is going outside and screaming into the forest for until they lose their voice. We all regulate differently. We all process things differently. Our genetic and physical makeup and our spiritual makeup may not be the same. So the way that you process energy is going to look the way it needs to for you. You can try as many things as you want to, but if you feel like it's not working and you feel like you're forcing it, find something else. It's okay. You can find something else. And then our last effort-based healing power booster is going to be tacked onto the let it look how it needs to part, and it's going to be aligned action. What does aligned mean? It means that it's for you. You're not taking something that has worked for someone else and trying to force yourself to do it. We can take inspiration from others, but when we realize that something really isn't doing it for us, we have to find another way. Do not try to force yourself to fit into a mold that you do not belong in. Take actions that align with who you are so that the effort that you're putting in actually goes towards your healing and not towards making you feel like you're broken or something's wrong with you, or that this just you can't work through something. That's never the case. It's never that you're the problem. A lot of the times it's the way that we're executing that's the problem. So take actions that align with who you are, that feel authentic to you. And you might be like, how can I do that? And I don't know what aligned action looks like for me. I don't know what's authentic to me anymore. And if that's the case, if that is how you feel, I have another video that talks about taking aligned action and how you can actually get there. So please feel free to click on that video over here. And I love you guys so much. I hope this video has been helpful for you. And I wish you all the best on your healing journey. You deserve to feel love. You are worthy of all of the things that you desire in this life and in this world. So be gracious, journey in love and grace. Until I see you guys again, it has been Rana Natalia, Authenticity and Mindset Coach. I love you so much. Bye.